Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to coffee time or tea time. What do we call it? Tea time with Tyler. Yes, this is where you, educators or students or whoever's joining us, is learning with us today. And I'm so excited you're here. Before we start, if you could in the chat, please tell me one, where are you tuning in from? Where is your location? Don't give me a street address. That's creepy. Just tell me like the state or the country, or I don't know. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Tell me where you're from. And also, what are you joining us with today? I'm going with the Google Sunrise Blonde Roast. That's the tea that I have today. Man, I'm not doing very good. My name of this is Tea Time with Tyler, and I've only had coffee every day. But you know what? It's not really my fault because I don't want to take responsibility for my actions. I'm kidding. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Today we're looking at Google Classroom. We're looking at Google Classroom. Drinking water. Mary, you're very healthy. You're very healthy. I like that you're sticking with the water. Good job, Mary. Look at this. Bam, drinking water. Okay, all right. Judy coming in from Arkansas. Judy Butler, Arkansas. What's up? Greatest state in the United States. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got Tracy coming in again, Arkansas, drinking coffee. Val, I got a question here. What's Skittles tea? We all got to know. We need to know what is Skittles tea? Is that a brand of tea, or did you drop Skittles into warm tea? Either way, I'm on board. I'm on Team Skittles tea. I just don't know. Arkansas water. Scott, I know you were answering the two questions I said, but it looks like you're just drinking Arkansas water, which I assume you may be. Isn't Ozark water? Isn't that Arkansas water? I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's jump in. We're talking about Google Classroom, and we're going to be looking at it from the student side. I am going to show you a little bit of like, here's how you make this assignment. But most of what we want to talk about today is for your students. So this video might not be a bad one to bookmark and then send to your students the first day of class. So if you're wanting to, make sure that your students are, if you want to make sure that your students are going to like feel comfortable in here, that they know how to submit assignments, this might be a good video for them to have so that they know their expectations. So here we go on the road again. Just can't wait to do Google Classroom again. So we're going to go in here. We're going to click this. Hey, real quick before we start, last thing I want to talk about. Did you hit the red subscribe button yet? If you didn't, you should do that, because if not, it's like a chain email. If you don't, you'll never meet your true love. Y'all remember chain emails? Y'all remember those? Okay, well, they had a good run. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're looking at Google Classroom. I'm in here. I could create a class, but I'm going to hit join class. This is what it looks like for a student if they want to join a class. Just like you would go up here and you'd say create class, students are going to go to classroom.google.com, and then they're going to click the plus sign. I'm going to click a student. Remember, I'm a student. I'm going to hit join class. Now, this is the class code that you gave them. Remember when we did Monday, we did Google Classroom for Teachers and we showed the class code. I wrote down a class code. We'll do, this was my burner account, S2X. Okay, so I'm going to join that class. That might be an I, not a lowercase L. Or I might have written the entire LFTHS2X. I feel like I got it correct, but we'll check again. Okay, here we go. LFTHS. If this doesn't work, so help me. That's fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in and I'm going to add myself because I've got my other screen pulled up. I'm going to add a student, which is who I know what it is. I'm a part of an organization. So keep that in mind. Remember we talked about last on Monday, if you're a teacher, you cannot add students from certain domains if you're signed into your like regular account. So what I just did is I tried to share this with my from my @Gmail account, and that's the name that created the course. And what I'm trying to sign into is my Tyler @Tarver Academy account. Wow, Tyler. Wow, boy, didn't think that one through, did I? Or maybe I did. Maybe this is all just a teaching exercise, when you think about it. It could be. It could B. So let me write this in here. While I'm writing this in the chat, I want you to list what you would like for me to cover next week as we talk about virtual learning. If you could type in the chat, is it you want me to cover YouTube? Do you want me to go through and break down YouTube pages? Do you want me to talk about virtual learning? Do you want to talk about schedules, how I break up my schedule if we're all virtual? Whatever it is you want me to cover, if it's another Google skill, put that in there. And we can even recover some stuff. So in the chat, put what you want me to cover while I type in this account stuff real quick. Sound good? Go for it. Da, 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 da. This is so good. So good. Virtual learning. Okay. Hey, Mary, if you would, get even more specific. What do you want me to cover with virtual learning? I would love to know if there's something in particular that you want me to cover. So let's do this. I'm going to share my entire screen. That's what's up. Wow. Look at that inception. Am I right, guys? Okay. So I'm going to take this here and I'm going to sign in here. Okay. So now I'm in this view. Keep telling me what you want me to cover next week. I want to hear it. Okay. I want to know what you want me to cover. So we're in the stream. Coffee time with Tyler. Okay. So I'm signed into one of my accounts now. I'm going to sign in as a student. I'm going to let you see as a student. We're waiting. Wow, that's cool. It's taking its dear sweet time. Man, it's good. Hey. Okay, without using StreamYard, best way to video a lesson. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna tell y'all honestly, YouTube, and I love StreamYard, and I'm using StreamYard right now. I figure I will just be using straight up YouTube in 6 months because they are really good at developing. They're good at developing stuff that is tailored around using just their platform, and that's what they want to do. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep developing things and adding things to their repertoire of stuff that they use. So here we go. All right, we're back in it. I'm so sorry about that. Please forgive me. All right. So a student, remember, I'm a student. Okay. If you've invited a student to your class, like you typed in their email address, they're going to get this right here. This is where they would decide to join your class. So they would hit join. Student would go here. They would say yes. And they would join your class. Well, they couldn't join it. Cool. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Now, most of you guys are probably just going to give them a code. They're going to go to the plus sign. They're going to hit join class. Okay. Come on, little buddy. Type in the class code. 6C. Okay. C6G52PM. See, and here's the deal. Like you guys, we did this. It was unintentional for me to do this, but this is a good. It is a good example of what can happen when you are doing virtual learning. Whenever you're teaching a class through a video online, there's an element of you delivering your instruction that is out of your control. Okay, it's like usually you're standing in front of your classroom talking to your students, and your students are sitting there, they're hearing it. The only thing in between that is the words coming out of your mouth and them hearing it. Okay, there's not a lot of room for error or mistakes. When you put technology in there to bridge that gap, it adds this whole level of opportunities for things to go wrong. Okay, we just saw it. We just saw what happened. Okay, with that. Now, whenever you're doing this, the main thing to have with your students is you got to have patience. You got to let them know, like, hey guys, this stuff happens. Give them something to do while you figure it out, or move on to the next thing. I asked you guys to talk about what we're doing next week, which was extremely helpful because I do want to, know what you guys want me to talk about next time. So here we go. So I just signed into my Intro to YouTube class, which is a class you can join if you ever want to. It's just it's like a step-by-step procedure of a class on how to get used to YouTube. So here we go. So I'm going to go in here This is introduction. This is an assignment for introduction. This was in the. This is actually an assignment. Like there's something to do here, and I can see that as a student. Look up here at the top. Stream. That's like everything goes in there, including announcements. Classwork is the stuff that I'm being graded on. Remember, whenever we talked about, whenever we were covering Google Classroom, how classwork is stuff that you want to hold them accountable for. So right here, they can go in and see it. If I'm a student and I'm really just trying to get through a class, there's times they're going to skip your stream. So keep in mind as you're teaching that everything you put in the stream might not be something that they're going to really focus on. Okay, so what I like to do is whenever I post in the stream, I also like to hit the button to where I email it to all the students because that gives me another level of communication. You cannot over communicate. It's like you got to have that Google mindset as a teacher in these virtual classrooms that you cannot over communicate, you cannot oversimplify, and you want to give 2 or 3 ways to get something across the students. So let's say I have an announcement about something we're going to do in class on Thursday. I'm going to post it as an announcement. I'm going to email it. If you have a student group me, you put it in the group me. You put it in every location those students might possibly see it. So I'm going to click on here as a student. Introduction. I can look at it and I can actually click view assignment so I can see that individual assignment as a student. It's telling me that I can add or create files for my classwork, which is true. So this assignment was big question. How do I navigate YouTube and start a channel that meets my needs? I rolled in the way I set this class up. I kind of broke down big question, description, all that, personal application. And then I have discussion question. In the comments, write your name, where you're from, what you do, and post a link to your YouTube channel if you have one. Okay, so people are in here posting all that. So they're hitting up, they're numbering all these. I should have probably numbered these because that way if my instructions were to put that in there, I could have done it. So let's just say I'm going to copy off of Tyler. How's that? Boom. I'm going to take Tyler's. So I'm going to go in here. I could go to this class comment and I could post this. Now, you as a teacher, you're going to see I copied. I'm not saying students will copy because students would never cheat ever on their assignments. But I'm going to have this in here because I want to pretend like, I'm doing the assignment. So I'm going to hit boom. That was part of my assignment. Now, as the student, let's say I had to send this, like the instructions were put this in a Google Doc, okay? Because I didn't give them a Google Doc, did I? Or did I? Because right here, I gave links to different things. I gave links to my YouTube, all that stuff. Right here, I set it up to where they had a Google Doc that is a notes template. So they have it. They have view only access. You can set it up for your students to where it automatically creates a copy for them. I couldn't do that on here because this is it was an open to the public account, and the way I set it up, I couldn't do it on this assignment. So they're going to hit file, make a copy, and I'll put my name, Tarver, intro to YouTube course notes. Boom, it's in my drive. Okay, yours is easier because your students are actually going to be created and sorted automatically. Okay, so there we go. I've got my Google Docs. Put my name in it and I fill it out. Let's say I walked through this whole course of this assignment and I put all of that stuff in there and it's all ready to roll. Okay, got it. I don't need all these instructions, Google. That's what we're doing, our instructions. Okay, so I'm going to go to introduction. So let's take a drink of our coffee, shall we? Now, what I want to do, this is a big part of what I want to show you guys today. I want us to talk about, well, where do my students submit the assignments? We saw that they go to classwork. They saw that they can click on the assignment. Now, from there, they can add or create their work. So from here, they can choose to put in something they've already done, a doc sheet, slide, a file, a link, whatever. Say their assignment was to create a website. They're just going to put the link to the website. If it was adding something that they create a drawing, if they're doing, like, say you told them to watch a video and take notes and then upload a photo of the notes, that would be a file because they're uploading a picture. And again, they can do this all from their phone. That's going to be easier for them if they're old enough to have phones. I can add from my Google Drive, or I can create it new from here. So say you told them create a doc. That's why you got to think through. Like, I love thinking through what the students need and what they're submitting, because you can identify that in your instructions. Like if I wanted them to create a doc, I would have told them in the actual instructions of that assignment, create a doc, do this, this, and this. They can create it from here. If I wanted them to use the template, I would say, use the template I gave you and edit it to make it yours. You got to be very clear on here. So I just made the doc. We were just together on that. So I'm going to go in here. It knows recent is where I just was. I'm going to add in that. Boom. It has now attached my Google Doc that I created. Now, I can actually add more Google Docs. So say it was a Google Doc and then I needed a picture of my notes. So think through as a teacher, not only do you have to have them fill out something, you can actually put another option to insert, hey, take a photo of your work on this, or take a photo of you if you're completing this project at your house, take a photo of you at this step, and this step, upload those three, and then upload, your final project. Think through what you want them to upload and be very clear with what you want them to upload. Now, this part right here, before I hit turn in, I want you to see this part right here. See private comments? That means that I can say something specifically to the teachers of that class. Now that goes to all the teachers of the class. If you have a co-teacher, they can see it as well. This was fun. I can send that private comment. Boom. Now that this portal one assignment to have a conversation with you about doing this assignment. So that's a good way for them to communicate. So if you want, and honestly, guys, I told you earlier, whenever you have an announcement or something you have to say to your students, you can send it out to like everywhere that they might be. But it's also really good to tell them, like, I'm going to send it everywhere I can for you. But the best place for you to communicate with me, tell them, is it email? Is it the private comments? Is it through Google Classroom? Like, where is it that you want them to communicate with you on? So the good thing is when you do that, when they do this private comment, it's going to be attached to this assignment. So let's say it's like an old assignment, then you're going to be able to see that they have a question about that assignment it's going to take. You don't have to go search for it. That's one of the most annoying things as a teacher, is having to go in and search for the assignment that a kid just emailed you. And that they never really explain which assignment it is. They email you and they're like, hey, I couldn't figure out number 3. And you're like, we've had like 8 assignments you haven't turned in. Which number 3? You know what I mean? So here we go. I'm going to hit turn in. It's going to say, are you sure you want to turn it in? It's going to attach this document, turn in. Boom. There you go. Where do most students hit snags on this stuff? Most students do not finalize the turn it in button. They do not hit submit on it. That's one thing I always have to reinforce to our students is don't just attach it. Some students will attach the assignment and then they bounce, they leave, they get out of there. You have to tell them to mark it as done, like submit assignment. You need to show that you completed it. And sometimes you're like wanting to add points for a discussion, okay? The discussion happens over here, and I'm already making the discussion right here. That I've already attached to the discussion. They think they're done. If you make it a classwork assignment, they still have to hit submit. What I would tell them is, hey, put your comments in the discussion, but then also copy paste your comments up in like a Google Doc or however you want them to, or they can just hit submit. You decide. Be clear whenever you're doing that, because if not, they're not going to know what to do. Now, I want to show you something before we move on. So let's click over and let you see more of my screen. There we go. Okay, so if I'm a student and I have submitted an assignment, let's say I'm like, oh, wow, this is due to tomorrow. I submitted it today, but then I'm like, yo, I did not, attach something I need to attach. They can actually unsubmit the assignment. Unsubmit to add or change attachments. Don't forget to resubmit once you're done. See, Google's trying to help them out. You hit unsubmit, it pulls it back from you as the teacher. I can add or create more to it, and then I can hit turn in. Let's see what it looks like whenever I add, let's say like a link. Say that you asked me to, because I did ask, attach your YouTube channel. So let's see, .com/Sir Tyler Tarver. Okay, so now I've attached a link and I've attached to my Google Doc notes. So I've attached 2 things. Again, I always, whenever I teach these classes and I ask them to watch something and then they're doing the assignment, I always attach the notes because they know they're now being held accountable for watching the videos. That's one thing students will bounce out of. And if you've ever taken a grad class, you know you're probably maybe guilty of that as well. So there we go. So we hit resubmit. We've resubmitted our assignment to our teacher. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, now let's go in and let's see what it looks like whenever a teacher makes, let's see, I'm the teacher of this class. So let's see what it looks like for a student whenever you post like a quiz. Sound good? So let's go in. We're going to see the teacher view and then we're going to see the student view. So I'm going to click on this. I want to hit cancel. I don't want to make an announcement. I want to do classwork. Let's say I want to create. I want to hit create. I want to create a question. The question is, which is best of these? I don't want it to be short answer. I want it to be multiple choice. So is it Bears beats? That's not how you spell beats. Mr. Beast, a very popular YouTuber, beats or Battlestar Galactica. I spelled that right. Okay, there we go. Which is best? I don't need a due date, all that. Let's hit ask. Now we are going to look at it from the student perspective. We're going to switch over to this account. Take a drink of that lovely tea. So Starbucks blonde roast tea. All right. So I've already signed into this class as a student. I'm going to see my classwork. Okay, which is best? See right here, boom, got it. This is what it looks like for a student. So if you ask a question and you label it as a question, so that's good for like bell ringers, or if you want to do like a quick, hey, we're taking roll for today. Show that you're here. Show that you've checked in. And that could be an option for you. Like that could literally be worth 5 points every day. Is checking in at the right time. Check in by 8:30 in the morning if they're virtual. Which is best? They could say Bears beats or Battlestar Galactica. I mean, Bears. Have you ever seen The Revenant? It's got to be Bears. Okay, submit. You will not be able to make changes to your answer once you hit submit. Hit turn in. Boom. And it's going to show me what everybody else viewed. So present, not present. You could do that as the question. And I could view the question later if I wanted to. There we go. I turned it in. Here we go. Let's look at this assignment. And then I want to answer questions. So start throwing some questions in. Things you might want me to roll through as a student. Anything like that before we finish up today. Today might be our shortest day. We've done I've tried to shoot for 30 minutes every day. And we've only hit at like an hour every day. So hello, class. Watch today's video for quote of the day. And in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote and how it applies to you. Do you agree with Tyler or disagree with him? I mean, he made some good points. There I am. This is a discussion. This is what I always tell you guys for quote of the day, which you guys, if you're not doing quote of the day for your class, I've got that, tarveracademy.com/quote, and I've got everything you would ever need for quote of the day. I've got 180. You can do it for the whole school year. So I've already attached, let's see, that to it. Is that what I want to attach to it? Maybe, oh, I've already submitted this assignment. Because, remember, I didn't show y'all that. Look, I'm going to head back. Whenever I'm a student and I'm looking at these, watch if I unsubmit. Let me see. I want to show you. This is really good. This is really good for your students to know. Unsubmit, unsubmit. Okay. Now, whenever a student's going in, a lot of times especially if they're doing remote learning, they're in task mode. They're like, what is required of me at the earliest date? What do I need to work on? It's like a order of operations for their classes. They want to know, what do I need to work on? Whenever they're in their classwork up here at the top, when they're in classwork, if it is like a darker color right here, that means they have not completed it, okay? It'll also say due dates on here, but if it's a lighter gray, that means they've completed. I've completed all these assignments as a student except for this one, so I know to go in there. I know that I need to finish this assignment. That's how students know if they have to complete that assignment or not. Okay, so there you go. That's a good way for students to know what's due of them. Here's a fun fact. I don't know if you guys knew this. When you schedule an assignment for students in their classes, well, first off, when you assign a student in a class, it automatically generates a Google Calendar and it adds them to the Google Calendar. Okay, that Google Calendar is for your class. Anytime you have due dates on your class, it'll automatically show up in their Google Calendar. So they're actually creating a calendar for you in what they're probably already using as a calendar, and it's generating these things in their calendar. So there you go. All right, that's pretty much the gist of that. Let's see if you guys got any questions that we can roll through. Due dates. Please show the student view of assignments, due dates, missing work, graded work, etc. Oh, okay, we can do that. That's great. Mary, awesome. Here we go. So we're going to start with due dates, missing work, all that. So I'm going to go over to, I'm in here as a student. I'm going to go switch over to a teacher. And we're going to use the, okay, reload. We're going to use the Google quote of the day stuff. All right, so let's see. I'm in here. This is my class. Right now I'm in as the teacher, okay? So I'm going to create the stuff that Mary was just talking about. She said assignment due date. So I want to create an assignment. Week 1 Monday. Waiting, loading. I think I just did too much. You're doing too much. That's the thing that deer say. What does this quote mean to you? And I'm actually going to search for the video in Google Class. As a teacher, I can search YouTube directly from Google Classroom. I don't have to go to YouTube if I don't want to. So that's an incredible, incredible tool. So I'm going to go YouTube. I'm going to type in, let's say, Tarver quote. And then I'm going to pick, there's a Martin Luther King Jr. one. Okay, there you go. What does the quote mean to you? Now, Mary's question was, what does it look like for the students when they have due dates? So I'm going to make it worth 100 points because it's super important. The due date is, we'll make it due Monday at that time. And topic, I don't know if I already have topic, bell ringer. Okay, cool. So I'm going to assign it. Awesome. So there we go. Now let's say also, I'm going to go into people and I'm going to go to mine student that I'm about to go to because I want to hit up where you said graded work, missing work, all that. So it shows me right here my student, that individual student, and I want to go in and see a turn in assignment because I want to grade it. No, I want to grade this one. Okay, view details. Okay. Loading. While it's loading, if you want in there, throw in anything that you want me to cover that I haven't. So I'm going to say you got a 9 out of 10, and then I'm going to hit return. Student will be notified. You can check any grade. Don't want to tell them a comment. You forgot to capitalize your sentences. Tell them what they did wrong if you want. Hit return. Awesome. Okay. Now I submitted all those assignments. We can come back and look at what it looks like for missing work. So boom. All right. So I got that. We're good. Let's switch over to this student. So I'm actually already in here at classes. As a student, you can go to do, and I can see all the stuff that I need to. This actually, it stinks because I'm in here as a teacher as well. But as a student, I can see the stuff that I need to work on. So that's a good spot for students as well. So let's go to the class. Let's go to classwork. Okay. Now, I can see that I have this missing assignment. Let's see, where is it? Boom. This is my assignment that has been graded. See, I can see that it's been graded. So I want to view the assignment. This is what it looks like for me as the student. I've seen that it has been graded. I can see that this is the private comment. Remember how the private comments are attached to the specific assignment? So whenever you make a comment as a teacher on their assignment, that assignment still is the hub for all the conversations about that assignment. So I can see my grade up here, 9 out of 10. I can see what I got right there. So I can go to, all right. Oh, here it is, enrolled. That's where my to-do list is, sorry. All right, got it. Looking in, that's what my grade looks like. That's what those private comments come in through looking like. So let's go and look at what it looks like for missing assignments. So now, whenever I assigned that assignment earlier, I can't say assignment more than I already am. When I assigned that earlier, I'm looking at right here. It's darker, which means I haven't completed it, and it shows me my due date right here. So I know now it's just like a regular assignment, but instead of no due date, it has when it's due. So then I can click view assignment. I can go in, I can add private comments. I don't understand what you want from me. And I know that's misspelled, sorry. Okay. So as a teacher, I can see all of that. Let's see, from my classwork, I can go into this one, what it's due. It's assigned to 4 people. I can actually go in and see right here from where that assignment is. Do you see underneath the name as the teacher? I can see that private comment. It shows me right there what that comment is, and I can respond directly from here. I don't understand what you want from me. I want your opinion. I'm spelling every word wrong on the quote. Okay, sorry. That's bothering me now. Okay, I want your opinion on the quote. Hit send. So that's how we're communicating on these assignments. You can go in and see all of those communications, and those students can see them as well within their assignment. So yes, you can email them as well, because some students are going to want to communicate that way, but you can also keep the communication directly in Google Classroom. So let's say that, okay, so let's look. Let's see if we're, I'm going to delete out of this. So if we are a student, so this is my student, and I got that assigned, missing work. We showed the missing work was that. Now, if it's late, you know, you can lock them off. You can go ahead and give them the grade. But did you see what my option was as a student on the assignment that I'd already submitted and had already been graded? Where is it? Let me see. Now, look at this. You know how we do things in topics before? You can actually, when you make those topics, as a student, I can see all those topics over here. So I can click and I can see just the bell ringers. So if you're doing a bell ringer every day, they can actually sort them through here. Bell ringers, quizzes, reviews, chapters. You can go by chapter, whatever you want to use as a topic. That helps me as a student organize what I have to do. Because, you know, sometimes students don't think that bell ringers are that big a deal because they can skip out and not have to pay attention the first 5 minutes of class. But this allows them to go in and see all of those bell ringers and look at them. Here we go. So this is one that's graded. I can hit resubmit. I can turn in another one. I can add, it's already been graded, but I can still add stuff to it. Now, some teachers take the stance like, oh, you graded it by this date or it's due by this date. Sorry, after that, you can't do anything. What, I mean, what's the goal here? Is the goal to give them a grade, or is the goal to let them have learning experiences? So if a student messes up on an assignment and then they want to go back and learn more and do better, is that something you want to consider? I think, personal opinion, I say the goal is learning. If they want to go ahead and do more learning to make up what they missed, let's see about giving them more points. Okay. That's something I would always want to encourage for an employee or a student. So just a thought. Cool. I can never remember how to tell students where to find the missing work. Let's see. Thank you. I can never remember to tell students how to find the missing work without just staring over their shoulder and walking through the process. Tell them to looking out. Tell them to go into their to-do. So like enrolled, to-do. These are all of my classes. These are the things. This is where they see their missing work. It's got a due date. It's red, all of it. I can see, click on it, and I can go to that assignment. That's how they know what they need to do. So there it is, guys. We did it. We did it. Let me scroll up and see what you guys said you want to do next week. We got Jamboard. I've used Jamboard some. I haven't used it a ton. It's like, it seems to me like a pretty, it's like a more fluid. Sorry, I said like 80 times. It is on Keynote. If you're in a Keynote, like the Apple one, you're on your iPad, you're presenting, you can like write over the screen and you can circle things. It's really good. It's like you're doing a presentation from the screen. It's really cool. This is like Google's response to that, to where you can do all that on there. So I might go in and play with Jamboard. That might just be because I haven't used it a ton. So it might be a Jamboard learning session. Like we just go in together and learn it. So I might do that. That's a good idea. I'm going to write that down. Jamboard. We got virtual learning. Mary, what are you thinking with virtual learning? What could I help with? Is it best practices? Is it what you would do to present? All of that. I would love to know more details. Or I could just talk about virtual learning. I could hit that. Best way to make a video and add it to Google Classroom. Okay, we could do that. Make video. Okay, I could do a complete walkthrough of iMovie. Most of you guys have Macs in your classes? Do you have Mac computers? Do you have Chromebooks? I can't show you walkthroughs on building a video on Chromebook. I could show you, because honestly, you guys could make most of your videos from your phone, especially if it's you talking. You could do audio and or video of you doing that. But I could walk you through the process of taking that from nothing to getting it uploaded into either Google Classroom or YouTube and getting it on there. I would like to watch someone just do a virtual lesson and tell us how to set everything up. Okay, I can do that. That's good. I mean, really, there's a couple different ways. And again, I don't want to go. I could go through and just do virtual right now, but I will say this: there are a few different ways to do a virtual lesson. This right here is essentially a virtual lesson. You guys are interacting with me. I'm running it live. And here's the nice thing: if a student misses it, this video is still available at that link forever, because I'll keep it on YouTube. So you can come in and watch it at any time. And so when you do it live, it's like you can get those active participants while you're teaching. I can get Megan to talk about Google Slides on Wednesday. You can actually like have another student come in and co-present with you in your class. So that's a good one. We got anything virtual learning, videos, audio, YouTube. Also, have you guys been a part of a YouTube premiere? That's right now. This is live. Okay, we're doing a live video, interacting with you guys. You guys are tossing in questions and comments. A premiere is something that I go out and film beforehand. So let's say I'm a teacher and I go out and I film myself for 20 minutes. I prop this up and I teach a 20-minute lesson where I'm talking and I'm explaining the American Revolution, or I'm talking about Paul Revere. There you go. I go and summarize Paul Revere in 20 minutes on this video. And then I hit end and then I upload it. You can take that video and you can upload it to YouTube and you set it as a premiere. And the difference between uploading a video to YouTube and just posting it and a premiere is that the premiere is going to play and students can watch it live. So if you've got virtual and you upload the video as a premiere, you could tell them like, hey guys, you have to tune in at 8 o'clock to watch the premiere. And so you've got the video already rolling and then they're in the chat and you could say in the chat, because you can be there too. It's like you have a co-teacher. So your video is playing, but in the chat you say, all right, everybody, tell me that you're here. And then they would have to say present, present. And their name is on there because it's attached to their YouTube accounts. Mary said they don't have, that's YouTube Premiere. I have a video on how to set up a YouTube Premiere, but I really love YouTube Premieres. Mary said no Macs. Man, so you are using Chromebooks from home? Is that what you're using? Mac would be great because you have iMovie and I can show you how to edit in iMovie. I think WeVideo is what people use to edit on Chromebooks. Okay, Judy, you said how to set up where they can see us and the whiteboard at the same time. With the whiteboard, are you talking about like you standing in front of like a projector or a dry erase board and them seeing you in that as a video? Or are you talking about doing what we're doing right now where they can see your screen? Because if that's the case, I would use StreamYard. They do have a free option. Save as MP4. We had to convert and add to Google. Oh, wow. Tracy said videos done on a phone does not always save as an MP4. We had to convert to add to Google. So you had to convert from an MP4 to add it to YouTube or add it to Classroom, because Classroom lets you upload video automatically. That's interesting to me. I'd have to play around with that because I've never had that issue. A .mov and .mp4 both have uploaded to YouTube from my experience. However, if you're not uploading it to YouTube, maybe you're downloading it on the computer, maybe it didn't work. So seeing the whiteboard, not just on the board. Okay, what I would do, Judy, she had a question, said, yes, seeing the whiteboard, not just the board. Okay, so let's say you're doing a virtual class and you've got students in person, but you've also got students watching from home. So you got like 20% of your students are watching from home. What I would recommend is you could attach, like I say attach, you need a webcam. You could have your computer, because if you have a projector, most of you guys probably have projectors in your room, that's running from your computer. So what you could do is you could run StreamYard like this. You could only project your screen to those students and they can hear you from your computer, but they're seeing what you're doing on your whiteboard. So when you're clicking through and doing all your stuff and going around here and you're presenting on your screen, they could still see what you're doing on your projector. So that's one thing you can do. So Holly said you had trouble with it taking a long time to upload a YouTube video to Google Classroom. Okay, that's not unusual, especially if you're doing like a full 30 or 40-minute lesson. Honestly, that just depends on your Wi-Fi or your internet connection. One thing I've done is I've recorded the videos, like 4 or 5 of them. The best way I've found is recording in bulk. So I'll go out and I'll record, 2 to 5, videos, and then I go somewhere that has a good internet connection and I'll upload from there. You can go to Starbucks, you can go to, if it's at school, if it's at your house, wherever you have decent Wi-Fi, and hit the upload button. Also, and if you're just going there to upload, because as a guy who's uploaded like 2,000 plus YouTube videos, you're going to waste a lot of time. So what I always try to do is, it's really big on time management. So you don't want to sit and wait for 3 hours for a video to upload and just be sitting there looking around. What I'll do is I'll have the videos set them all to upload before I go to bed. And so when I'm going to bed, I have them upload overnight. Or I'll, like if I'm going out to eat lunch, yesterday I did this. I needed to upload a bunch of photos that I took for a dance company. And it was going to take a couple hours. So I was about to go out and eat lunch with my wife. So I set them to upload before I left. And while I was gone, they uploaded. I've also had videos upload in the background while I'm going in and checking emails and while I'm doing other projects. So it's a good time to work on the next thing before you move on. Holly said, librarian reading a book for story time. Okay, this is a good one. You could do this right here. I think this would be a great avenue, because then you could just be like, here's a book. I actually have a book. So if I'm reading, by the way, great one, Becoming Better Grownups. Have you guys read this? You could sit here and I could read the book and then do this, show them the photos, and then read the book. And you could do it from here. Pre-recorded. Here's the pro and con. If I'm doing it live, I'm trying to talk, interact, process, and read comments and interact. So it gets a lot of and you're looking, and there's chance for lag. If you went and just recorded with your phone, propped up your phone, and then you recorded you reading that lesson for that book, you could set that as a premiere, and then you can have it playing as a premiere. All the students are talking in the chat. What that adds to it is that you've already got the video done and it's playing, but you're already conversing with the students. So when I do a premiere for teachers on trainings, I can't go in and answer their questions live in the video, but I can answer their questions live in the chat. So while I'm teaching on the side, I'll go in and I'll answer questions on the side in the chat. I'll grab links, toss them in there. Teachers are like, oh, I wish I had that resource. I can go find it while I'm still teaching in the YouTube Premiere, because it's pre-recorded. I can go grab a link, toss it in, and reply to them, say, yo, here's that link you wanted. and I can give them all those resources. So it's a good way to have like a co-teacher while the video does it. So as you guys know, probably I've been putting up like I used to teach high school math, and I would record videos of myself after school teaching for like 20 minutes. And one day I was going to go to a PD, so I recorded myself teaching, and I was like, okay, the students will watch this video, tomorrow, so that we don't miss a day of class because I'll be gone for the PD. Well, it turns out I wasn't leaving until halfway through the day. So what I was doing, I was like, well, I already recorded the video. So what I started doing was I would play the video in my classroom. It's playing on the screen. And then me, and the human real life version of me, I was walking around and helping students individually. That's essentially what you're doing with a YouTube Premiere. You've got a video playing that can't be distracted, because believe it or not, I can be very distracted in a classroom. And because students want to joke around or bring up stuff or reference things. I'm teaching and nobody's interrupting me because it's a pre-recorded video. And so I know that lesson is going to be 20 minutes because that's how long I recorded it. While that's playing, I'm walking around the class and I'm helping students. I've essentially created 2 teachers for my classroom, and they're both me. And so that's what you're doing with a YouTube Premiere, because you can toss in links, you can answer stuff in the chat. You aren't crazy that it might take an hour to download. No. And I don't know if you mean download from your phone or upload into YouTube. YouTube, I think, uploads a little faster than if you're uploading it directly into Classroom. Because if you're uploading it into Classroom, it's going into Drive. If you upload into YouTube, it's going into YouTube. I think, from my experience, YouTube uploads faster. So that's a good question, Holly, and I hope that I answered it. Also, I'm sorry for wearing a hat today. I look super, super ratchet. So, guys, unless you guys got any more questions, we're going to end it pretty soon. I do want to tell you I'm doing a giveaway. I don't know if I remember that. I told you guys we're giving away the Essential 55. And I originally was going to do this just for Patreon people, like the people that donate to my Patreon. But honestly, I just want to give it away to anybody. So to do that, all you got to do is comment on, I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you. So if you go to, let me see, banners, and you guys can do this right now if you want. Again, you don't have to pay anything. It's free. I want to give this away in July. So if you Patreon, if you go there, and then all you got to do is comment on this, and it's open to anybody, even if you're not a Patreon subscriber, which is what we call our honor roll people. You can still do it. I want you guys, just because honestly, there's a few of you guys that have been very active in the chat. You've been participating. You've been a part of this whole like process of me trying to figure this stuff out and teach people live with these trainings. And so I want you guys to be, just because I really appreciated your time, effort, and energy in tuning in with me every morning at 8 a.m. So if you go to patreon.com/Tyler Tarver, you can go in and just comment on that first post about the book. There's a photo of the book. Just leave a comment and you're entered to win. And honestly, I don't think anybody's commented, so you got really good chances right now of winning. So go to patreon.com/Tyler Tarver and you can enter to win that book. So do that right now so you don't forget, because I want you guys to potentially win this book. I might start doing the giveaways more often too. And then after my book gets published, guess what? I can start giving away my book. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So there you go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of it. I really appreciate your time. I know you could have been doing anything this morning. It's the summer. You could be at the beach if there wasn't a worldwide pandemic. But I appreciate you being here, learning with me today. Y'all be good. Like, subscribe, whatever you want. Never stop learning. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Peace.